So on that topic, I want to introduce you to another trailblazer that's very passionate about giving back and doing great things in the world, and that is Gail Galley of Project Everyone, or Gail Gallet would be her French name, I guess we were discussing. So please join me in welcoming Gail. Here we go, right here.
Hi, everyone.
Gail, thank you so much for joining us here today. Great to see you. You maybe tell everybody a little bit about Project Everyone. For many people may not be aware of the program. What you're doing.
I will. Thanks so much for having me. So Project Everyone is a communications unit that was set up to focus on the United Nations, the Sdgs, or the global goals as we call them. And can I just ask, who has heard of the Sdgs? Would you put your hands up? So quite low. Global goals?
We have work to do.
We have a lot of work to do. So the goals are basically a plan by which the world can get to a more positive future for its people and also for the planet. There are 17 of them, which is a dreadful number. It's too many, but we're going to work with it. And in that are 17 different goals, which if you add them up are going to eradicate extreme poverty, which is the kind that kills you, reverse the harmful effects of climate change, and bring down the extreme inequalities that are in the world. Right? So it sounds great. So that is the plan. Now, the point is everybody around the world, or many, many companies, like I'm sure your own, and certainly Salesforce, are working to achieve some of these ends, but they're not joined up. And what the UN did in 2015 was bring every member state, 193 countries together, to agree a single joined-up plan, because as you all know, when you have a plan, you have a much greater chance of achieving what it is you're trying to achieve. So it might not be the perfect plan. They had a dreadful name, the SDGs, so that's why we renamed them the Global Goals. And we figure that if everyone just sticks to the plan and marks what they're doing to achieve these amazing goals on the plan, then we'll know if we're getting there. So we are the unit who launched them, branded them, this little wheel, if anybody wants one, find me at the break, that this represents all 17, and under each of them is a specific goal, a specific target covering education, gender equality, eradicating poverty, access to clean water, and then clean energy, the new ones. And as I say, all of your companies will be working at some level to achieve these goals, and Salesforce definitely are, and they have bumped into us, and we are lucky enough to have bumped into them because our two missions are coinciding to get to that much better place for the people and the planet we live on.
That's really terrific.
In a nutshell.
So inspiring. What's that?
In a nutshell.
That's right. Speak a little bit about, maybe what Salesforce is doing to support you in all this, and maybe some of the projects that you've successfully engaged in.
So this is funny. So we go to all these places like the UN General Assembly in New York and the World Economic Forum. And we met Salesforce at the World Economic Forum this year in Davos. And the first question the CEO of .org asked me was, what system do you work on? And I was immediately embarrassed because we didn't have one. So I said email. And then when he really pushed me for more detail, I said, and text. It was so embarrassing, must do better. So we got on really well because what was apparent immediately was Salesforce have the same values as us, but you have an enormous, we are gulfs apart in terms of the technology that we were running on. We are reaching 500 million children around the year in something called the world's largest lesson, which is a lesson to teach children about the goals. And we're doing that sort of with email and pen and paper. We make creative assets that we push out. We had 180 million people last year watch a remake of a Spice Girls tune we did for gender equality. We had no means of reconnecting with those people other than watching them watch it on Facebook. So we are talking with Salesforce about, can we plug their amazing technology and their reach, not just through their own offices, but through their partnership networks, to the world's largest lesson, to this lesson that reaches children around the world, so that we have a whole generation of children all around the world, doesn't matter where you're born, knowing that there is a plan, and if we all stick to it, we should get to a better future for us and the planet. So that is what we've just started to talk about with Salesforce.
That's fantastic. And so, and thank you for sharing that. Tell us what, in closing, we can all do, being inspired about that. How can we support? How can we help?
Okay, great. Well, I love that question. So we are a tiny unit of people in London, but we have a huge network. And the reason we have a huge network is because we make partnerships with businesses particularly. So we work with people like Unilever, we work with banks, we work with, what we haven't done enough work yet with, I feel, is retailers. Because we feel the retail intersection is an amazing time to talk to a citizen, a human, about what it is they're doing and whether they might be interested in supporting the goals and just get them a bit bit more thoughtful about how they live their lives in the world. And we are beginning to form some partnerships with retailers who normally are doing great stuff. They're just not badging it with the wheel and with the goals. And what we would love to do is get more creative through your own channels, through your products, through your touch points with your consumers, the scale of which we can only dream of unless we do these partnerships. So if anybody does feel that they can get involved with us, and when we do get involved with people, we see great uplifts in staff engagement, consumer rating. The world likes this kind of stuff, right? And you know that. So we are really, really keen, happy, and honored when a retail partner thinks they can do something together with us. So we're open.
That's tremendous. Thank you so much for joining us, Gail. Pleasure. Let's give her a hand, please. Thank you.